Hello and welcome to Russ's Movie Corner. My name is Russ, and as you can see, I'm not sitting in front of my movie corner. I'm actually in a hotel right now. I'm on a job. I finally got work, but my shifts are kind of all messed up, so I'm actually going to be here for a couple of weeks. I meant to have my whole entire Bond retrospective done before No Time to Die dropped, but that didn't happen. I wasn't able to get everything filmed and uploaded before that. So I have my yoga book, and I'm just kind of recording myself right now in the hotel room. So I'm going to keep my voice down a little bit. So if this video audio quality, isn't my usual standards, that's probably because of what's been going on here. So I just saw No Time to Die, and I'm going to do a review of it. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review. Once the movie drops on DVD, I will do a more in-depth DVD review as part of the Daniel Craig part of my Bond retrospective. Now, if it happens that I get my retrospective filmed before the movie comes out on DVD, then I will end up with some different stuff. And then I'll just do it as a DVD review a little bit down the road as part of the James Bond retrospective, and I'll kind of talk a little bit more in depth about the story and about the different, the title sequence and all that, because I had this whole criteria of what I wanted for my James Bond retrospective, and then it was going to end with this review actually being my sort of kind of send off to the James Bond retrospective, because this was Daniel Craig's send-off for James Bond. And so, without further ado, let's jump into No Time to Die. So, No Time to Die was directed by American director Cary Fukunaga. One of the things about this man is he did Beasts of No Nation, and he was also a writer on the It movie, the remake of It. And he's also been in a few films, but this was kind of his, he was offered the chance to direct when Sam Mendes basically said after Spectre, "I'm not coming back." They went on a worldwide search. They looked around at different directors. They once again asked Danny Boyle to come back. He said no. And they asked a whole bunch of other directors. Daniel Craig wasn't sure if he was going to come back or not. So and I know that Christoph Waltz said that he would not come back unless Daniel Craig did. And so when Daniel Craig finally signed on in 2017, I think it was, then Christoph Waltz said, "Sure, I'll come back and be Blofeld one more time." And they did a very, very good job kind of connecting the dots. So if you remember from Spectre, Mr. White was kind of, talking about how there are different people, there's different things going on. He's like, "You're a kite in a hurricane, Mr. Bond." They connected the events from basically like Casino Royale all the way through. So they're not leaving out anything in this. There's also some callbacks. So if you remember the Die Another Day, where Pierce Brosnan goes to Cuba to get Delictados. Well, they bring those in. And Jeffery Wright makes an appearance as Felix Leiter again, and I loved seeing him back. Ana de Armas was really good as Paloma. She's sort of a newer agent in the grand scheme of things. Lashana Lynch makes an appearance in this one. Now, I know that there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Bond and the 007 moniker and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of people who have been talking about this. And honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me who is the 007 in a way. It's when they try to change the actual character of Bond, like taking a guy like Idris Elba and putting him as James Bond, because James Bond historically has been a white guy, and this is something that has been actually since basically before even Pierce Brosnan was cast. They actually asked Colin Salmon, who ended up playing Robinson in the Brosnan era, to come in and play Bond, and he was like, "Nope, I'm not going to do it," because James Bond has historically been a white guy. Idris Elba, same thing. He said James Bond has historically been a white guy. So honestly, I don't care who they get to play James Bond. Okay, I just hope that going forward that they continue to make James Bond a white man, because that's who he is in the books. Okay, if they choose to have somebody else with the 007 number, I don't care, as long as they're not trying to call them James Bond, if that makes sense. Okay, and I know that's going to be controversial for some people, because everybody's into the whole diversity crap, and I don't care. Okay, James Bond was written by a white man. Okay, he was based on white men who did things during the war and after, and he's historically been played and portrayed by 6 white men. And it's nothing against anybody else, nothing against Lashana Lynch. She was an excellent, I'll just say it, she was an excellent 007. She's not James Bond, she's not Johanna Bond, she's not Bond at all. She's just the character of Naomie. They just handed her the moniker when, at the end of Spectre, Bond retired. Okay, we know that. So she's the new 007. But again, that's just the number. It's the name that's important. Okay? Now, historically, we think, yes, it's James Bond 007. Okay? And I'm not saying that, it's like, and even Daniel Craig is like, it's just a number in the movie. But this movie, getting back to what I was saying, this movie is excellent. Okay? The characters, the story, everything, it will keep you guessing all the way to the end. Like, from the opening all the way to the end. It keeps you going. One thing I really like, and this is about the only thing I'm going to spoil for you, okay, is that if you've ever watched On Her Majesty's Secret Service, or if you've listened to any of the James Bond-like theme song compilations, you'll know that there's a song called We Have All the Time in the World that was written for that, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. In my opinion, one of the most underrated James Bond films ever made. Okay, a lot of people didn't like it because it had George Lazenby, and it was a completely different Bond. It was like, there was a lot of stuff going on, and it was kind of odd. A lot of people didn't really think too much about it, but when they started playing that song, I'm like, don't rip my heart out, don't. Because if you know the ending of that movie, then you know something bad's going to happen when they start playing that song. And again, I'm not spoiling anything. That's it. You're just going to have to go see it, because it was excellent. And again, if you've seen my review of Bohemian Rhapsody right here on Russ's Movie Corner, then you know that I was super excited when they announced that Rami Malek would be playing the villain. And damn, is he good as a villain. Oh my gosh. He is amazing as a villain. I really, really, really enjoyed him. And Ray Fiennes, Ben Whishaw, Naomie Harris, Rory Kinnear, all of them come back. I know that Naomie Harris said that she wants to come back and continue portraying the characters. Same thing with Ray Fiennes and Ben Whishaw. And even Rory Kinnear has said that he's had a fun time with the Bond franchise, so we'll see if he actually comes back as James Bond. Or Tanner, I mean, not James Bond. But, we'll see what they do. But, and having Christoph Waltz back as Blofeld, he's always good. It doesn't matter what he's in. He's amazing at making your skin crawl. I don't know why. There's something about his voice, his mannerisms. It just makes your skin just kind of, it's like, oh man, he is great. I love him. Um, so yeah, definitely good. Now, the interesting thing is that Cary Joji Fukunaga actually came up with the story for this movie, and they hired Neil Purvis and Robert Wade to kind of come in and help him do the screenplay for it. And so it was really well done. And if you've seen some of the Instagram stories and some of that kind of stuff, they've shown like, you know, Daniel Craig kind of come in and say, you know me, you know my style, I've said a lot of things about these movies over the years, but this has been the best experience because I've gotten to wake up and come in and do this. And so I think that this was a very good send off for his James Bond, and I hope that whoever they choose in the future can, really sort of, pick it up. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, we could see Tom Hardy, or oh, we could see, Henry Cavill, or whatever. And I'll say this: I I heard somebody say I would love Tom Hiddleston in that role, and I went, Loki? What? Who? Why? But when I saw Kong Skull Island, I went, okay, yeah, now I see him as James Bond, because in that movie he acts a lot like a James Bond style character. He's very secret agent-ish. He's very, like how he, talks and how he acts. I could really see him as James Bond in that role. And I went, wow. Okay, because normally I just think of him as Loki, right? He's just that kind of happy-go-lucky, kind of Loki type character. Until Kong Skull Island. And then I went, he's Bond. He could definitely be a good James Bond. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they have I know that they have a plan to continue the series. I know that they are looking at options. They are researching. I know that Barbara Broccoli did an interview back in late 2019, when No Time to Die was supposed to drop this. It was supposed to drop last year. It ended up they waited a year and a half for the pandemic, because all of the stuff was shut down. It was supposed to come out in April of 2020, and they ended up pushing it back to November 2020. And then when the market storm opened up, then they went ahead and pushed it back a year, to October of 2021, which is where we're at right now. And so, and it was great to actually finally see this movie on the big screen, because honestly, when the Billie Eilish "No Time to Die" song dropped, I instantly downloaded it, listened to it. I've been listening to it for over a year, and I finally got to see the title sequence, which was a great retro style titles from the 60s. You see all these little colored dots coming across the screen, and you're like, yes, it's awesome, I love it, it's 60s Bond. Which was kind of what they wanted to go back to, was that sort of, Sean Connery style physicality of Bond, and him being that way. And I think they did a really good job with the reboot series, because honestly, No Time to Die is probably my second favorite Daniel Craig movie, and it's probably out of all of the films that have come out since the Brosnan era, back from GoldenEye all the way through now, from 1995 on. I gotta say that this is probably my favorite out of the whole, because and Skyfall being the pinnacle up here, No Time to Die, and then there's probably World Is Not Enough, because to me that's kind of how it shapes up. I mean, I've been really excited to see this film since last year when it didn't drop. and I was really angry. I was like, no, I wanted Bond. Dang you. So, because they wanted to open up to Chinese markets, they wanted to open up to different things. So, anyway, I'll keep this video fairly short. I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit and just kind of recommend it and just say, even if you're not a Bond fan, if you've kind of watched maybe casually some of the James Bond films in the past couple of months, couple of years, it'll really kind of tickle your nostalgia bone. And if you're a Bond fan, this is going to be like Skyfall for you. It will blow your socks off because you're not expecting it. Okay? And I really think that, they've got a few things that they need to do to, to do the next one. So we'll hope that they do that. Alrighty, well, as I'm out of town, I don't really have much going on right now, so I'm thinking next week I'm probably going to go see Dune. I'm working nights, so my days and nights are kind of flipped right now, but I'm going to go see Dune next week, so that will be my next review, so keep an eye out for that. And I'll film it and I'll post it up next week because I've been waiting for that one too, and I saw a really good preview in No Time to Die, so I am jazzed to go see Dune. So I think it's going to be good. So keep it locked here for Russ's Movie Corner. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know if you've seen the movie. Let me know what you thought of the movie. Please keep it spoiler free because there's a lot of people out there who may not have been able to get to see it yet, and I just don't want people to get spoiled. Okay? So let me know in the comments below what you think of it, and I will see you next time. Just don't